Ryze, playing it successfully. Castle's also playing really well individually.
Yeah.
So I really like how they actually got that win. It was not like some fluke, some random like fluke win. They certainly earned it. So I'm excited to see what they do next in draft moving forward, because especially DARKWING has shown that he is very willing to pull out, more creative mid lane champions. And he does have this, Hwei pick that people were hyping up so much for him as he was coming in. But that one, the Malzahar didn't work out so well.
Cassiopeia is probably his best pick. So the fact that it's available is something that's interesting. And that is not Darius.
Oh, we got the Jhin. Honestly, this visual rework looks so good, though. Jhin just has so much action and aura about him now. So we'll see. Cloud9 though, locking that in for Blaber. That is a champion that doesn't have a lot of escapes, so you can get punished sometimes and get picked off, but definitely worth the early prio.
And to your point, honestly, just seeing the success from C9 in the first 2 games, I feel like a little bit of it is fearless, because those first 2 games are comps that they practice regularly.
Yeah.
But then when they're throwing something different, not just their own composition, but what DSG is throwing at them, that just challenges your problem-solving ability within the game. And that's when it gets really messy. So we'll have to see what the answer is going to be. That's going to be Vulcan's Alistar, so that's an iconic one.
I'll say Viktor Lucian's a little more standard, though. So now they're maybe saving something fun for Castle. If this is the strat for DSG's pick, unique chance that they're not ready for. But Hwei's picked up by Loki.
Yeah, and he gets to know the matchup that he's going into with Viktor. This, to me, already from C9 is a bit more of a return to champions that they're going to be more familiar with or have a lot of time on, like Loki in a control mage mirror matchup, not having to play against Kuki and Nivea as split pushing Ryze. And then also just having...
That's
what it feels like.
They're going to slip that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I kind of like what DSG are doing here, though. I mean, the prio on the Lucian Braum combo is very good, and that is definitely a way where you can punish a Jhin. And even a Vulcan Alistar, which is very, very, well renowned. So.
That being said, good luck to eXyu. You didn't pick your jungle in the first 3. You already had 6 junglers from the last few games. And now, with the Lee Sin ban from the first phase, you're getting hit.
They even banned the Pantheon themselves.
It is interesting that they decided to ban his Lee Sin.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you trying to say?
He did win against Dignitas with it. Cool.
Yeah, that's true. So now, we're going deep into that pool into what he's willing to pick. I liked the Nocturne ban, because at least it is something that is practiced, conventional, and it's trying to put him onto an unconventional pick is a smart decision.
And it really does feel like DSG needs some kind of engage. If they have Spice in their draft, I'm thinking it might not be top lane unless eXyu goes for, I don't know, Sejuani. I'm trying to think of what. No, that was already picked early in the series. Yeah, so I'm wondering if they don't have a lot of engage options in the jungle left, they might need to go for something more standard top. Yeah, with the J4 taking off the table as well. Not a lot of options for eXyu.
I mean, so far their composition is quite good at being able to receive. So the Viktor, Braum is good kite back. Something they can add to it is yes, frontline that can do that job. Technically, if the Jax hover is fine as a flex as well.
True. I was just gonna say, if they're holding the jungle pick to 5, then they would be thinking of something quite quirky. It's possible that his Jax would be. I guess it's an okay matchup in his end.
So I was gonna say, you could pick Jax on 4 as a flex pick. Jax jungle is good into Jhin. It's good into all auto attack based champions. And the buff to Jax's passive attack speed was really good for jungle clear, but they don't do it as the flex. They go for the Sylas, which
jungle Sylas.
Taking Alistar's ult is a lot of value.
I mean, technically, there are some matchups where you can play Sylas top as well. So you could argue that little bit of flexibility.
Okay, it's gonna be into Yorick.
We're taking that Sylas top play.
Yeah.
Getting boxed by a shovel. You want another pick. Interested what Castle's going in here as a really good counter pick. I like this cover, but it's not. There's the Jax.
And there's the Jax. Yeah, gonna be top lane Jax, jungle Sylas. I mean, I'm excited to see jungle Sylas with the buff. Still not the fastest clearing jungler, but you're gonna have a massive amount of value just from the Alistar to be a bruiser in team fights. So Disguised reaching back for some quirky picks, kooky picks in games 3 and game 4, Kobe?
I think they are timely picks.
Timely picks.
With the buffs to Sylas's monster damage, like you said, I mean, initially with it being a bug and it actually adding to crit damage, it was insane. But they quickly fixed that one, but he still is really good at making early moves too. Sylas, you can make a lot of like level 3 action happen. And if you have a Braum on your team, maybe there's a level 1 even that DSG have crafted here. Having Sylas and Jax and Braum level 1 gives you a lot of options. Even though you have to worry about face checking an Alistar sometimes, I still think there's a lot of strength there. And as you get deeper into best of 5 series, level 1s can really determine a lot.
All right, well, that's our thoughts. I want to hear what the casters have to say as we're getting into game number 4.
We got some jungle Sylas. I'm pretty excited to see how this goes. This is the fun part of Fearless, right? The game 4s, the game 5s, the quirkier options that you get to see.
Well, especially with so many jungle options taken, like so many standard jungle options taken off the table, right? Like we've talked about 2 coaches and players about how, especially when it gets to game 4 or 5, jungle can get a little, like someone's going to end up with a silly jungler essentially, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, it is flexing the Sylas into that jungle position. So we'll see how eXyu is able to handle it. And once again, we are asking you, chat, to vote on whether Anero's draft good, bad, or remake.
You know, so Anero is 2 for 3 as far as good drafts according to chat. But chat is 3 for 3 on evaluating. Their evaluation
Good job, chat.
goes to a win or a loss. But we've got Raz standing by with Coach Ido. We want to see what he thinks Anero did in the draft.
Yeah, I want you to influence this vote, Ido. So how do you rate that draft?
What was like the middle option?
That one's like a bad.
Middle
Good,
was
bad remake.
That's a harsh scale.
Yes, it is.
That's a harsh scale.
Where are you going with it?
This one's like, it's 50-50. I think there's like creativity, and honestly, like it's game 4 now, so a lot of the picks are getting like really whack now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like base it on a scale anymore, but I think both comps have like playable aspects to it.
So you're just avoiding the question?
Bad.
Oh, there we go.
Terrible.
Thank you. You guys had the invade early, so what was your kind of thought process? Because the moment we saw Braum, Sylas, it was like the invade seemed like it was inevitable.
Yeah, I think obviously whenever you have like a Braum, it's just like kind of a green light to invade already. So yeah, I think it's just like a given that you should abuse that when you're level 1.
All right, that's all I want to hear. The action starting, send it straight back to the casters.
All right, thank you all very much. Ido votes bad for Anero's draft as
Worrying trend.
Rahel and Huhi are trying to keep the pressure high, nice and early
Whoa,
here.
okay.
Remake.
It's a higher value of good than the last one was, but still remake number 1 here at 51%.
What did Jack think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
last
we have
one
to
he
track
thought LeBron.
Jet.
He was on the opposite. He was on the opposite end of the spectrum. You know, LeBron is off the scale. It's to the left. It's even better than good. But also interestingly enough, eXyu playing Sylas jungle. This is the first jungle Sylas in NA since 2019 summer when Lyra played it. So it has been a very long time since we have seen a jungle Sylas. And I'm quite excited to see how he does, as Blaber is going to be spotted up here on that top side.
I tell you what, man, I'm going to have to get used to seeing the new Zhao model and recognizing him as Zhao, just because
same.
I've seen the old champion model for over a decade now. I really do like the new one. I think he looks super flashy and cool, but my brain is still not recognizing him as Zhao, seeing him walk around the map.
And Jack voted good with a thumbs up.
Nice.
So it's not
Okay.
LeBron, but it's better than good because it has a thumbs up.
But
Like an
in
extra half point.
the 2 games he voted good, they won. So
Yeah. And when he voted LeBron, they lost.
true.
His expectations were too high.
Results-based analysis.
Unless it was still a LeBron level draft, but it was, you know, some Toronto Raptors level gameplay.
Oh no! Slamming your own team.
Oh, of course.
Bottom side, 2v2, heating up as Vulcan's got to try to get away. We know about the laning power of Lucian and Braum together, and they're putting that to good use down here. Zven just trying to farm up and stay safe enough from these guys. Vulcan's the one who's going to have to be, you know, tanking some hits to make sure that he can occupy space in the brushes, guarantee that Rahel and Huhi aren't just running away with the game.
Yeah, so we talked about earlier, you know, the team's records in their last 7, but I wanted to hit you guys with some more stats. You know, some
Okay.
more accurate stats.
Oh, okay.
C9 versus DSG. This is their records in their last 1 game. And DSG is on a 1-game winning streak with 100% win rate in their last game.
You guys can't
These
see it, but right
stats are-
now, like Flowers' face is just cooked. He
These are
looks
just the numbers.
disgusted.
Flowers
He
just
looks
doesn't like the truth.
disgusted
He
right
just can't
now.
handle the reality of the situation.
These numbers are more worthless than world scrim bucks. This is the most useless type of currency in
100%
the
win rate in
earth.
their last game.
True.
And Cloud9, 0% win rate in their last game.
All right,
And 0% win rate when Jack predicts LeBron draft.
True, but this time we predicted good, and they won with good. So we'll see as we see both eXyu and huhi kind of moving into this jungle.
They were spotted by the ward, who he was at least, and now he and eXyu are going to have to be a little cautious about this. Remember that in the previous game, they invaded the jungle early as a 3-man unit, and they're going to do it again here in game number 4, but huhi's down to 200 HP. eXyu half dead here as well, but Rahel's coming in to help out the rest of the squad. C9 defending well as eXyu's in a lot of danger. He wants to go back in for the abscond abduct, but it's Rahel getting the first kill. Nicely done with the Lucian guns as now the counter engage coming out yet again. huhi jumps back into the front line. He finally falls, but he takes Vulcan with him. Now eXyu again looking for that abscond abduct, but does not connect it. DARKWING's trying to find some more damage here onto Loki, but nicely piloted by Loki there on the Hwei to make it an even trade 2 for 2.
It felt like on the back half of that fight, eXyu really wanted to make more happen, ends up getting punished by Loki's Hwei. But I mean, the Braum is always going to just do so much work in this, and Rahel flashing forward for that kill. Really great. And then, yeah, huhi just ends up blocking so much damage there.
And I have to give a lot of credit to Rahel. Great job of actually tracking the spell timers, right? Because you're flashing in basically in range of an Alistar, but tracking that the combo was not yet up to be able to get that initial kill, going in confidently to get the second kill as well when huhi was there tanking for him. Yes, it costs his flash. Yes, he may be vulnerable. That's 2 early kills, and now Vulcan could be in trouble.
Yeah, Vulcan going to get stunned up there by the concussive blows, still trying to make enough space to get himself away, but Rahel also took a ton of damage in the exchange. He walked into a very large minion wave as they were chasing after Vulcan. Now he's down to 200 HP
Here's
himself.
eXyu.
eXyu ready to show back up, though. If he can land the abscond abduct here, he should be in a good spot, but flash for flash, huhi going to force Zven back.
Yeah, and Vulcan's going to return to lane with that teleport, so no one going down in that exchange. But yeah, Rahel taking all that damage is really what kind of turned that around, and then eXyu was unable to get in. So on the whole, though, this Lucian's in a pretty great spot.
Yeah.
2 kills, kind of chilling. We'll see what else they're able to do with this bot lane, right? Because as the game goes on, we've seen Vulcan and how he's been able to really take over games. Sets up for this, Alistar sets up for this Jhin so well.
eXyu not quite level 6 here on the Sylas. It's going to be so massive this game because we always talk about how, yeah, it's cool to have super cool, powerful ultis with Sylas to have like a big AP ratio burst or something. But really the most powerful ults historically on Sylas are always the defensive ones. Alistar is like ulti number 1. Zhao can also be very effective. You're up against both champions this game. eXyu's going to have so many options to be such a nuisance in these fights.
Those ones are strong. Counterpoint, Amumu and Malphite.
Amumu and Malphite are also good ones. Those ones are
good
great.
ones.
Those are really good ones.
Those are the, you picked Malphite and you didn't ban Sylas, that's an FF. Remake fast. But I agree with you. Alistar, as far as ones who actually get in competitive play, is the best, I think, in the entire game. It's a relatively short cooldown, and it allows you to be practically invulnerable. You can just fly in onto Zven or Loki and put that pressure on them, and they don't really have a lot of recourse. They can't do much back to you. As C9 are going to be able to grab this early dragon. Doesn't look like there's going to be any answer from DSG on that bot side. Instead, they'll just grab the grubs for themselves, which I actually really prioritize grubs in a matchup like you have in top lane.
Yeah.
Oof.
Rahel, though, stuck inside the cage. Thanatos is just going to beat him down easily. Nice pickup there for C9, and it secures Speed of Warfare.
And we were previously talking about how good Rahel was in some of these early skirmishes. That's kind of an unforced error into this Yorick. And thus far, I do think Castle has kind of been able to get the better of Thanatos in a lot of these games, especially when it's come to team fighting. But if C9 are able to set up this Yorick in side lanes, he has the potential to just completely take over the map. And so kind of an unforced error going over to the side of Thanatos and this Yorick.
Oh, he actually unleashed his maiden and sent it down the side. Like, I am willing to bet he did not mean to do that. Because what happens here is so you can actually like unleash the maidens from yourself and it will just walk down a side lane until it dies. But there's literally no reason to do that in this situation. I don't think Thanatos has played enough Yorick to know how that works, so I think he accidentally unleashed it, unfortunately, and got it killed. There are some weird situations late game where you can, like, you know, there's an open side lane for an inhib, and you can just send it down a side lane and then group for the dragon and things like that. But this is not one of those situations, so I'm going to say that was a bit of an oopsie. But that kill on Rahel was also weird because huhi was right beside him at the tower, but then walked behind the tower after he hit him with the Q instead of back to Rahel. And Rahel was positioned so aggressively there, like as though his support was with him, but huhi walks out the other way. So I definitely think some miscommunication happened there also. And had huhi just walked up past the tower back to Rahel, I don't think Rahel dies. So I do think it's a bit of an oopsie on both of their parts.
Yeah, and that did give feats of warfare over to C9 as well in that exchange. So we'll see what, and yeah, I am curious about how they set up this Thanatos with the Yorick in the side lanes, obviously to try to contest Castle on this Jax.
Yeah, and he's going to have a while before he can get that maiden back out. Again, you know, if you, basically how it works is if you press the ult again when it's already out, it just unleashes it and just walks down the side lane until it dies. So probably double tap by accident. eXyu is up here though. And Thanatos, you know, they have a potential 2v2, but again, this is Yorick without an ult.
Okay, Castle jumps in, immediately goes for the counter-strike, and now the stolen Xin Zhao ulti from eXyu as he wants to work his way into the fray. Castle is low, but Thanatos is lower. eXyu taking a ton of burst back now as they jump back in for the kill onto Thanatos. eXyu gets away from Blaber, and it's a clean 2-0 for the side of Disguise.
And I hate to rag on one mistake, but that is a maiden diff. You win that fight very likely if you have your maiden. Maybe DSG don't go for it, but that is such a punishing mistake. The accidental unleash, you know, I want to hear from him to make sure, but I'm willing to bet that's an accidental unleash of the maiden. It dies for free. Now you don't have it for this fight that became very close.
Yeah, and as we see eXyu going in with that stolen Xin Zhao ult is also what makes the difference, right? And going forward, this sets Castle up in a great spot to get more turret plates, more damage on the top side as we see bot lane fighting.
Big fight as Zven's already in a lot of danger and eXyu's going to make it lethal. Vulcan barely survives the culling there with the unbreakable will at the far end of the fight. Blaber's just trying to maintain control over his own jungle, but Disguised are not done yet. huhi marks Blaber with the concussive blows, and now eXyu will steal away the remainder of the Krugs. They're going to continue moving through Blaber's jungle, taking whatever resources they can find. It's 12 minutes into the game, and Disguised are nearly 3,000 gold ahead.
And eXyu has been everywhere on this map with this Sylas being able to respond to C9 pressure. He already has that rocket belt locked in for himself, which is going to further help him get onto key priority targets. And I mean, he has kind of been the difference maker in this DSG early game, right? Because we talked about how, I think last week, he had overall a pretty strong series, despite, again, we're all going to think of that smite as kind of a little bit of a whoopsie, but in this series throughout with C9, he's been really involved with his lanes, really good at recognizing when he can punish, and has been using the Sylas super well.
He's playing a very impressive series against a team that is, you know, heavy expected favorite here. And I will say one thing I really give eXyu credit for is even when he has these bad moments, he continues to play in the style that he wants, right? And I know that's something that he talked about when he was coming up into the LCS, LTA. He's talking about how he wanted to play aggressive, he wants to play with confidence, and you can't allow one mistake or one misstep to allow you to just kind of like go back into your shell and play super defensive. Like, that is not the way. So he is constantly, you know, trying to look for those angles, trying to find those aggressive plays, and it has been working very well for him, I think, so far today against Cloud9.
And on something like the Sylas, right, with a 1K gold lead already, he's set up to do so well in team fights. Like here we see they have control over this bot side, so they're going to be taking down this second Drake, C9 having picked up the first one. But in team fights is really where I'm going to be looking to see if he's able to get that lockdown onto priority targets, what ultimates he's going to have to steal. Loki headed up here.
Yeah, this could be some serious danger for Castle. He sidesteps the Spiraling Despair. He gets another Leap Strike cooldown ready to go,
Yep.
but the shovel buries him. Loki and Thanatos working together to pick up a much-needed kill there onto Castle.
Good roam from Loki, getting up towards that top side. Huhi being pretty annoying here, as Zven knows he is weak-sided, so we'll have to just back it up, and they will likely drop this first tower down to that bottom side. So that will prevent C9 from grabbing feats right now. Of course, they're still going to have that opportunity as they do have the Feat of Warfare. First tower feat does go to DSG, and we are looking at 4 minutes until this next dragon, where potentially that could be decided, but of course Herald is going to be coming up here pretty shortly as well, and that is on the table.
Yeah, and right now C9 do have control over this top side with Loki taking down that top tier 1. Blaber kind of already up here a few seconds before that Herald spawned, and then Thanatos in position along with Vulcan and the TP coming in from Hwei. It really looks like C9 are putting super heavy prio on taking this Herald.
Yeah, C9 know what they want, and the Rift Herald is it. eXyu steals away the Alistar ulti though, so Disguised contemplating whether or not this is a fight they want to take. They don't have everybody over here. Castle could join with a teleport if they want, and it looks like that is the call. Disguised is ready to fight for this, but the Maiden is out and ready to go. Huhi here with the Unbreakable, as now Thanatos has to try to get back. The catch potentially onto Blaber. They need a little bit more damage, and Castle finds it. Disguised, kill off the enemy jungler. Cloud9, their best laid plan goes awry. They had the setup. They were there as soon as it spawned, and they just gifted away to Disguised.
And DSG just insta-summon the Herald, so they're going to go mid lane with this. We'll see if he can get the crash in. The tower might even die before the Herald crashes. He's going to try to go straight for the tier 2. Great timing!
Oh, nicely timed there by Disguise, but eXyu's got to get back out now. He is exhausted. He is low. Has to flash to get back away from that one. But I love that coordination there. That looked really cool.
And look at top lane. Castle's going to be able to knock that down in the meantime. That was really tight timing. eXyu did lose his flash off of that, but they are 5K ahead at 16 minutes. They are stomping Cloud9.
It is a jungle canyon this game. 2-1-4 for eXyu versus 0-3-0 on Blaber. eXyu is smurfing this.
Yeah, and as we see C9 getting first rotation on this Herald, but eXyu taking that Unbreakable Will is able to survive so long, and Blaber just dies. They're able to completely take control over this Rift Herald area, and then, yeah, summoning it immediately, driving it into the mid lane. Is this what's the rating on terms of Herald driving?
This is
in the LTA North.
This is family right here.
This is family?
This is family.
Look at the drift.
Woo!
Narrowly dodges the tower. The timing is perfect. Pops out and looks cool. Great headbutt there from Vulcan. Pulverizes them and makes them use the flash. But still, that was clean. And you can see DSG happy about that one. I mean, this is so impressive, right? Like the fact that you are being this competitive in game 1, they were in with a real chance. They were up 1.5K when Otacon spawned. Monster throw. And you think, well, okay, now it's just going to be a 3-0 for Cloud9. They're just going to stomp them. It's going to be a clean closeout. Game 3, they are able to take. Game 4, they are massively ahead. Even if the series ends in a 3-1 in this way, DSG, like the improvements that they have made are monstrous, and they're in position to win this game. Send us to a game 5, where I feel like it goes back to my interview with Castle before the day. All the pressure would be on Cloud9, right?
Yeah.
DSG is not expected to do anything in this series. If you're Cloud9 and you were in a game 5 against DSG for your year's life, like this is...
For elimination.
For elimination, you've worked this whole year with the expectation that it's you versus FlyQuest. Everyone's expecting that. You might not even get to play them this split before you're knocked out.
It would also be, in my opinion, the biggest upset in LTA LCS history. Right? Like, I don't think we ever, as we look at the greatest upsets in North American League of Legends history, like this, and also the transformation of this Disguised roster, adding DARKWINGs and Rahel, and then again, I do want to point out eXyu just working so much better with the team. He's looked a lot more coordinated, and it's made such a massive difference.
I mean, this is a team that just got their first ever series win in the history of their org, what, like 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Their first ever one was that best of 3 against Disguised. They won a grand total of
against
series...
Dignitas.
Excuse me, yes, of course, Disguised against Dignitas. They won a grand total of 0 series between Split 1 and Split 2. So for that to be the team that eliminates you,
Whoa, Thanatos just about to get picked here. Tons of damage from Rahel, Huhi, and DARKWINGs. eXyu is not even required. He just stopped by to steal Alistar's ultimate again. They're going to get the free kill on the enemy top laner. They'll pick up the tier 2 after. This is a 6,000 gold lead. The Drake is spawned now too, and they'll just walk over and take it.
Yeah, they're absolutely running this map. They're able to go wherever they want. This Yorick is not working out well at all. We kind of pointed out potentially the mistake from Thanatos earlier, but if they're not able to set up this Yorick in a side lane, it really destabilizes this entire composition, right? Because then you can't set up this 4-1. It gets really dicey when you then have Jax being such a problem in the side lane. And again, eXyu is in such a great position here on this Sylas in teamfights and skirmishes for DSG.
And I really can't praise eXyu enough. I feel like he's had quite a few issues this split with having those moments like you were talking about, Isaac, where he plays really well, but then there's always that one stumble. There's always the one blunder. But he seemed to be so locked in here on this Sylas, and he's going up against Blaber, who's been at the top of the table in terms of NA junglers for so long. So to see a game state like this, where eXyu is just so far outperforming Blaber, particularly when eXyu's on something like a jungle Sylas that hasn't been played since 2019, and Blaber is on Mr. Jungle from Jungleton, USA, playing jungle, it just blows my mind. It's so impressive from eXyu.
It's Otacon.
Starting Otacon.
Okay,
Guys, close
all
your
right.
eyes.
Let's see how this works. DSG, they are not going to full commit to it. Instead, they are going to acquire control over the lanes nearby.
I like it.
Instead,
We're
they want some
pushing out the
vision
minion
control.
wave.
But now eXyu and Rahel are going right back to the Otacon pit. Thanatos will be able to teleport in and join this castle. Going to do the same now. Vulcan keeping an eye on the Otacon. Huhi throws out the glacial fissure, but he gets no real results from it. Vulcan trying to come up here and make a little bit of distance. C9 ready to collapse here on the Otacon. It's down to 2,000 HP. Blaber goes in and he steals it away. DSG still trying to fight back as Thanatos falls. C9 are scrambling. They may have got the objective, but what about the fight? Castle, eXyu still hunting down the bottom lane of Cloud9. eXyu needs a little bit more distance though. Can he use that last little bit of no? The Cloud Soul terrain is not going to help him. So it's 2 kills for Disguised, but losing the Otacon was a pretty big deal.
Blaber with a big steal. That one, I'm going to put squarely the blame on Rahel. I feel like Rahel stopped hitting the Otacon, who he did such a good job of keeping Blaber away for so long, and then Rahel just starts popping the culling on the enemy players, and it meant that eXyu didn't have any damage going on the Otacon anymore. So look how low the Otacon is. Huhi drops the ulti. He's a mile away. Now watch what Rahel starts doing. You just need to keep hitting the Otacon. You're pumping your culling into the Alistar, and then it buys so much time that Vulcan gets over there, knocks eXyu out. eXyu has no way to get back to the Otacon here until very, very late, and it does become a flip, but it should have been a guaranteed play.
Yeah.
That's also frustrating for eXyu. Smites to 19, so really, really close, but that does give Cloud9 at least a little bit of hope, but definitely a mistake on the execution. I think that should have been a guaranteed play for them. They end up losing the Otacon, but they still won the fight, and they are still up over 6,000 gold very early in this game, completely in the driver's seat.
And look, we were talking about this in the green room at the start of the day. Experimental hex plate built by Castle. This item received some pretty massive buffs recently, and we were all talking about like, oh, is it buffed enough now for champions who had no business building it before? Essentially everybody not named Nocturne and Olaf. Is it good enough now that other champs are going to start using it? We have seen it in a couple of different situations, and now Castle on the Jax going to be putting it to the test.
Yeah, we saw the Shy pulling it out on Mordekaiser,
Yep.
I believe. But yeah, it is, we'll see how well it does. I mean, Castle on the back half of that fight too, I did want to point out, immediately was jumping onto Zven to make sure Zven couldn't get the rest of his ultimate off, which did also change the fabric of that fight, as we see Disguise now pushing on this top side.
It is now 50% attack speed and 20% move speed for 8 seconds after you pop it.
That's a lot.
So if Jax is not CC'd during that, you're just whacking away, like you were going to kill them, and no one is answering Jax mid lane. So DSG just need to make sure you don't get engaged on up top, and Castle eventually will be knocking on these inhibitor towers.
And how are you going to get engaged on top when Blaber and Thanatos are already down to half HP? Your front line is not sturdy for the Cloud9 side, and Disguised are playing a ridiculously good game 4.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, credit to Disguised and all the, like, we've talked about the roster swaps they made, but in general, overall, the team has been playing just increasingly well coordinated. They've been playing the map better. It was something that was illustrative in that first win against Dig. I think it was illustrative last week, where you could look at some of those games and be like, you know what, it could have easily been a 3-0 instead of the 3-1 it ended up being. And then against C9, they've been looking surprisingly good and really well coordinated.
DSG with a 6,500 gold lead. They're up 2 Drakes to 1, so not a crazy advantage there, but everything else is still going their way. Darkwing's in some serious danger, though, as Thanatos putting the pressure on him, but can't do enough to seal the deal before huhi gets in there and provides the escape for his mid laner. They want to try to kill off Thanatos, and now that eXyu's arrived, I would think they shouldn't have too much difficulty with it. eXyu will just lead the charge himself. Darkwing stays at a safe range, and it's a 10-4 game for DSG.
And meanwhile, Rahel's doing the dragon. Castle is farming the enemy jungle camps down on that bot side, so they're still making moves on the map right now. C9 thought they might have had a way in off of that play. I mean, Thanatos nearly takes down Darkwings, but there's just too many DSG members in the area that are able to get over there and save them. And now you're facing down Cloud Soul here in 5 minutes, which is ridiculously strong, especially in these side lanes. There's just going to be no escape from this Jax. I mean, you're talking 20% move speed on the experimental hex plate, plus the Cloud Soul.
Yeah, he's going to be sprinting at you.
This is going to be like a home guard Rammus.
Yeah, I was going to say Jax is Rammus now.
Yeah.
He's just, except imagine if Rammus does 5 quadrillion DPS because he's actually a carry. Like, this is not going to be a playable scenario, especially when you also then look at the carries on the enemy team. It's Hwei and Jhin, 2 of the frailest men in League of Legends, trying to run away from this dude with a big old bonk stick. It is not going to feel like a playable situation. C9 trying to camp out here in the brush, see if maybe they could catch Disguised unawares, but Disguised do not fall for it. And again, eXyu steals away the Alistar ultimate.
Yeah, and I like how Disguised are setting up around this, right? Like, they set down their vision. C9 still does have the scuttle vision there, but on the bot side, they can easily just send Castle to really create so much pressure on this Jax. And, I mean, it's just a really good Baron setup to kind of force C9 into them.
And now Vulcan gonna get engaged on here by eXyu, who immediately pops his stolen Alistar ultimate.
Yes.
Vulcan down very low, and he's taken out before anything else can even happen. C9 scrambling to avoid further losses, but their base is already collapsing. Castle has forced his way past that tier 3 turret. Thanatos can do nothing to the strength of this Jax. The inhibitor is down in the bottom lane. Blaber and Vulcan are dead up in the top side. DSG is gonna get the Baron for free, and they only need 2 men to do it, so Rahel and huhi are going to take out the tier 3 and mid at the same time, and they're looking for a second in-hit before C9 can finally get enough manpower together to push them back.
I mean, this is just crazy. This
They're
is
taking
DSG
everything.
with they're going to be 11,000 gold up after they take this Baron. You turn the nameplates off, people would not believe that this was DSG that was stomping Cloud9 like this. I mean, it's a great engage onto Vulcan. He clearly wants to save the flash because he knows, okay, we're so far behind, the only way we're actually coming back is some sort of flash engage or some sort of pick, right? So he doesn't want to use that early, but then by the time he pops the ulti, he's just already dead. Blaber tries to flash out of safety. They go in, they knock him down, and now we already saw that Thanatos had no chance of stopping Castle in the side lane. Well, there's a Baron buff now, and he's an entire completed item ahead. You've got no shot. This feels like it's a done deal for DSG. I think we're getting silver scrapes
This is great.
between Cloud9 and DSG.
And look at how well the timers line up, too. The Dragon Soul is going to spawn 10 seconds before the Baron wears away. This guy's just going to have total control over the entire map for the next 2 minutes, no matter what. And honestly, the game...
I showed you the stats.
All right.
You laughed when I showed you the stats.
You can update it. If we go to a game 5, it's still a pretty specious stat. The big thing to me is, though, Disguise have been playing the map really, really well. Again, like, I loved all of the plays that eXyu was able to get done early with his lanes. I loved going into that Baron setup, they essentially had to force C9's hand, right? Because otherwise, this Jax is just going to take stuff, and now they're pushing potentially for a win.
Yeah, DSG's ready to end the game right here. Objective bounty claimed in the bottom lane there by Thanatos, but he's got to get back home. All 3 inhibitors are now down. DSG empowered with the Baron for the next 90 seconds. Cloud9 knows one more fight they lose is the last fight of this game 4. eXyu again stealing away the Alistar ultimate. Blaber's about to die. He's down to 20% HP, has to defensively all, otherwise Castle would have guaranteed killed him. Redemption summoned up to keep DSG healthy. The Nexus turrets are already gone. DSG's gonna get another kill on Vulcan before they're done. They want to make it personal. They want a game 5, and we're going to Silver Scrapes.